Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay and I am Stitchy Fifer here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Very warm welcome to you if this is your first time visiting my channel. I hope that you find something that you like, and if you do, please click on the like and subscribe buttons, and if you select all in the notification drop down, you'll be notified whenever I upload new content. Generally I upload new content weekly. I have my weekly update on a Saturday, which is what this is, and I then also have a couple of Stitch With Me videos during the week as well. Sometimes they're chatty, sometimes they're more ASMR type. Depends really on whether I can think about anything to say. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending some more time with me today. Your support of my channel is so much appreciated. What have I been stitching on this week? Well, I've had a really good week. I've stitched every day this week, and I have done a whopping 7 projects. So I've worked on 7 projects this week, so a wee bit longer than normal, so you might want to grab a cup of coffee or whatever. Weather-wise here in central Scotland today is a wee bit better than what it's been. Still a bit dull. Well, the sun's trying to come through and I can see wee bits of blue sky out there. Fortunately, the storm last week has decimated the leaves. We're not really getting a good show of autumn this year here in this part of Scotland. Generally, if it's crispy, frosty, cold, that's when we have the better show of leaves, and this autumn's been mild and wet so far. Still got another 2 months to go until we're into December, but I think it's 1st of December was what the class is the start of winter, so yeah, so we'll see what happens with the weather there. I've got a couple of things that I want to show you in haul of, well, it's not haul, it's Stitchy Kindness. I've got a wee bit of Stitchy Kindness to show you. I've got, as I say, 7 projects to show you. Oscar's wandering around here, so he may make an appearance. Charlie's in the huff with me at the moment, because I'm very late in videoing today. I didn't sleep great last night, so I'm up a wee bit later, and I'm a wee bit out of sorts because I'm still half asleep and not woken up yet. But it is what it is, and we shall see what happens. I might end up deleting this video and redoing it. So last week, as I say, I stitched for 7 days last week, and I stitched on 7 projects. I managed 7,494 stitches over the week. It's a wee bit less than it's 1,000 less than the week before, but I think you'll agree that apart from one, out of my 7 projects, 6 of them got over 1,000 stitches, so I've done really well with that. What I'm going to do, as I say, I'm going to show you go through the projects. I do apologise, I keep them zipped up to stop little Oscar from getting in the bags. So I do apologise, there is going to be the sound of zips. Are you going to come and say hello, Charlie, or are you just going to continue ignoring me? Eh? Are you going to come and say hello? Oh, what are you doing? Okay, Oscar's one. Charlie might decide to come and say hello at some point. But let's see. First project that I worked on, straight after filming last week, I picked up Lilies of the Valley by Carolyn Manning. Oh, wait a minute. I keep forgetting to dim it down a wee bit so you can see it. Oh gosh, that's still not... The light's a bit funny today. I hope you can see that. That is Lilies of the Valley by Carolyn Manning. It's one of the Granny Squares collection. I stitched on that for 1 day, and I managed, a bit of paper, 1,001 stitches. And what I'll do is I'll hop into the actual chart to get my other totals. So that is there. If you remember, I was halfway through this diamond and I finished that. No, I was halfway through that one and I did that one and I did that one and I've started that one, I think. Or I was starting on that one. I can't really remember, to be honest. Like I say, my brain's all over the place this week. My sleeping pattern's a nightmare. Today on this one I have stitched 6,373 stitches out of 29,404. I'm at 21.67%. Instead of walking about shouting, why don't you come and say hello? Come here. Come on. Come on. Up you come. Up you come. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Up. Come on. No. Oh, you're going to come the easy way. Come on then. No? What's wrong with you? Come here. Come here. Come on. Up you come. There we go. There's Oscar. Hello. Come here. Are you going to come and say hello? Come on. Come on. Oops. Oh, the purrs have started. There he goes. Oh, he's off. Okay. So this, as I say, is the one that I started. I did straight after filming last week. Put that back in there. That's a nice quick stitch, that, and it's good. It's a nice stitch for Saturday because my stitching session. Hello, you going to sit there? Are you? Are you going to make biscuits? Okay. On Sunday, I picked up Look to the Sky, which is a free chart that you can get through the Dark Egg Stitch through Nadia's Facebook group. She's another floss tuber, and she did do designs at one point. I think it was Etsy she sold them on. But she's now, you can get them through her group. They're free in her group if you're a member of that. She's got some beautiful designs. Hogwarts Castle, this one. The other one that I've got that I'm thinking about starting. Oh, what one is it? I'll need to look because I've been looking at patterns again. I'm on a self-imposed buy-in ban of patterns until Christmas, but I've been so tempted this last week, so I have. Anyway, that is what it's going to look like when it's finished. Last week I worked on this for 2 days and I did 1,202 stitches, and you'll notice that it's no longer a straight diagonal. I have changed it to stepped, to blocked, with the parking below the block. So I took it down. I think I had to do 3 diagonals or 2 diagonals to get it into the right, to get it sorted into the right place. So I'm back up here again when I start back on this one next time round. Those 1,202 stitches took me to a total for the project of 7,868,000 out of 275,625 and 2.85% complete. I quite like this one. For all that I'm still in the background and still in the sky, I'm liking it because I'm seeing the colours. I mean, look at this. Let's get this back out and show you. I mean, look. We go from dark blue to the purple to the teal, the greens and teals, and then back to the dark blue again in that one corner. So there's plenty of interest in there, keeping me interested in doing that. And it's another quick stitch. Because there's only a couple of colour changes, there's not a lot of confetti in that bit. But saying that, I think the bear's going to bake up for it. But that is that. The third project that I worked on this week was Pa and Nana, which is from Heaven and Earth Designs. It's artwork based on artwork by Elizabeth Welker. you know, her that does, the one that does all the kaleidoscope type ones. She did the one that oh, what's her name? Vanning? It's not Pull the Needle. Was it Pull the Needle? I'm trying to think. Is it Pull the Needle? She was doing it as a retreat piece and separating it up. I can't remember what that one's called. Oh, but she's the same artist anyway. I believe, unless I've got completely the wrong design. But this you can see is kind of that sort of vein. It's got the kaleidoscope type. You know, the symmetry of the background, and with the cardinals in the front. I've got this because I love cardinals, and as soon as I saw the piece I thought, oh, I have to get that. I literally got it and started it. I got it and ordered fabric and floss the same day. So that is that. Again, I've changing everything back to the blocks. I did one day on this, and I did 1,163, sorry, I can't read my writing. 1,163 stitches in one day. Don't you dare update. That's my Chromebook telling me it wants to update now. It can wait until I finish filming. So that is that. As I say, you see, I'm doing away with the diagonals. I'm finding it easier to stitch with the diagonal blocks. So I'm still doing the diagonals, but I'm just not doing the straight diagonal. And I'm packing in the block below. So that is that. What have I done so far on that project? I have done 5,296 stitches out of 422,500 stitches, or 1.25%. And for all these, it's Stitch Pal tells me if I stitch on nothing but this one project, I will get it done by something like the end of November next year. But we all know that's not going to happen because I don't stitch on one project at a time because I can't do it. It breaks me. The next project I'm going to show you is what I've taken to call my insomnia piece. It's basically when I can't sleep, I stitch on it. And this is called 941, or as I call it, Blue Flowers. It's from Zana Cross Stitch. It's a freebie from our website. I can't remember who pointed me in that direction, but you know who you are. And oh no, wrong thing. Hold on. That's the chart. We'll show the mock-up. Look, it was just a portion of the chart. There we go. That's the chart there. I mean, my stitching doesn't look like much, but what I'm doing is I'm trying something different. And what I'm doing is I'm doing typewriter mode, completing each block as I go. Typewriter mode, typewriter method, completing each block as I go, coming across the way there until I get to probably about there. And what I'll do is I'll just start parking. And then I'll just come back and start along there and keep on until I've filled that the stitching area on that Q-snap. Now I'm not sure how many, let me see, if I do it to about there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 130 stitches by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, about 130 by 1,000, shall we say, and then I'll move over and do the next 100, and so I'm completing it within the block there, but I'm doing the typewriter method across. Hope that's not too confusing. About as clear as mud, Kay, isn't it? So that is that. I stitched on that for one day last week and I got a measly 169 stitches, and to be honest I would be hard pressed to show you exactly where I stitched because I don't know. I think I did, I completed, I know I completed the second block in, but it was only about 2 or 3 stitches missing from that, and I did all the purple in this one and the blue in this one. It's quite, yeah, I'm quite liking it, and it's neat as well. I wish I could stitch like that, you know, more often, but I don't know how I don't know how it would look trying to do it that way on 25 count. I might get another sort of like off cut, because Abby's doing her off cuts this weekend, so I might get an off cut of 25 count and see if I can get a pattern to fit it, or even a section of a pattern to fit it, and I'll just play, try and get, because if it works I might switch some of my projects, but I like to try and keep the interest, so if I can do different projects and different methods, keeps it interesting. Although at the moment I'm switching everything to diagonal blocks, so yeah. The next project I worked on was Taboo. This came out on a Stitch With Me last week. This is by Long Dog Samplers. And I need to get the mock up, not the chart. This is what it will look like, minus black backstitch. There's backstitch in the border and a little bit in the centre. That's what it will look like when it's finished, and I can't speak. That will look like when it's finished. If you get a drink, hold on. Right. What did I do on this? I stitched on this for one day. 1009 stitches, and I ignored, excuse the hanger threads. I completed this diagonal. I think I was there, and I completed that diagonal and started on the next. The border, and I did the butterfly in the corner, plus the back stitch on that, and I did a wee bit of the back stitch on this bird here, but it's a hanger thread because I need to do the next diagonal before I can do some more of the back stitch. So I'm just trying to do that as I'm going, because the way it is I'm likely to forget, and it's actually quite good because it does make that bird all the difference with the white back stitch on the black. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so that is that. Where am I at on that overall? I have done 5,393 stitches, or 5,393 out of 11,174, and I'm at 48.26, so not far off 50%. That'll hit 50% the next time it's out, which will be in about 3 or 4 weeks because of the rotation. So that was that one. Told you I'd done a lot last week. Next one was a biggie, and again I've been changing it from diagonal to diagonal steps. This is Dogwood Cottage. This was also out in a Stitch With Me last week. That is that there. That's an Artecy chart, artwork by Abraham Hunter. One of my favourite artists that I like. Thanks to Karen Needlebug, sorry. God shed her grace. I love that piece, but there's so many people stitching it, and I went on the Artecy website and I was scrolling and I was looking at the Abraham Hunter stuff, and I saw this. I thought, oh, that's beautiful, because it reminded me of a Thomas Kincaid. I've got a couple of his charts from Heaven and Earth Designs as well, so one of those will be getting started next year at some point. So I stitched on this for 2 days, and I got 1200 stitches. And as I say, I took it off the diagonal and put it into diagonal blocks, parking the block underneath, so there is more hanging threads. Sorry for those of you that are triggered by them. I just felt that with the confetti in there, the diagonal I was fighting with the diagonal to get the stitches and to make them look neat. So with the blocks, it's just, you know, within the block, you're not, you know, you're not stitching sort of like diagonally in this direction and your thread carries that way. Because I'm parking the block below, the thread, it carries down, you know. And if the way I park as well, if there's nothing in the block, say I was stitching, say that block there, if there was nothing in the block below with that colour thread, I would park it to the right, and if there's nothing on the right, then I would look to the bottom left or bottom right of the block that I've worked in to see where the thread goes. I bet it's clear as mud, right? It seems to work, and my stitching went quicker with it, so I'm happy with that. Today on this project I have stitched 5,321 stitches out of 227,150, and it's 2.34% complete. So that is that. What about your head, Sal? You're shouting. What about, you're asking, what about your head, Sal? Okay, well, I did get that stitched in that. And this is project number 7. Again, diagonal blocks, but it's working for this one. Because I have to keep the bottom row, I can't pin my stitches, so I've got to pin them sort of like under the block to the right. Which makes for some interesting when I'm trying to pin a stitch, and I've already pinned a stitch in that square. But anyway, that is where I'm on that. I stitched on this for 5 days last week, and I got 1,750 stitches. So a wee bit more than my 300 stitches per day that I was aiming for. But because I've got the extra 250 stitches, I've a wee bit of leeway. According to Stitch Pal, if I stitch on this and do 239 stitches for the rest of its duration, I will finish it somewhere around about 29th of October. But because sort of like have days when I don't feel like stitching on this, or I've been enjoying stitching one of my other projects, or it's you know, I'm close to 1,000 stitches, but not really, but it's time for me to change projects rather than switching and doing the rest of them the following day. I'll carry on with it. So there's days in it doesn't get as much attention as it should. There is the mock-up for all those that have been living under a rock for the last 9 months, 10 months. Well, I've been working on this. There we go. So that is that. So that's all my stitching. As I say, that was 7 days worth of stitching, 7 projects. So I literally had a new project every day. Look at it that way. Plans wise, I have no new starts planned for the 1st of November. Going into November, looking at that way. My rotation next week will be a cottage garden in bloom, 2 dancing peacocks and rosy Santa, and possibly fisherman's fens. Cottage garden in bloom is an Artecy freebie from their Facebook group. About just above halfway through on that one. So that is it there. I think I made that too dark actually. Is that better? The light keeps changing in here. And I've got heartburn. Two Dancing Peacocks, Hidden Earth Designs. Oleg Gavrilov. This is the same artist as the project that Gemma Stitches is doing, Marvellous Garden, and Sunny Birds, Stitching Mummy's doing that one. Yeah. And there's a new one. Was it Stitching Mummy that started the new one, the Hummingbirds one? I saw someone had started that and I can't remember who it was. I can't remember. We got a fairly decent start on it as well. And that's Rosie Santa from the Cross Stitch Studio. Yeah, so get these back out for a rotation of 1,000 stitches, and if I get through all them, I get to work on this. This was my birthday new start. This is Long Gogh Samplers, Fisherman's Friends. I think we can safely say I've started a tradition of starting a Long Gogh sampler on my birthday. I keep saying I'm going to start one of the big ones, but she always seems to bring one of the smaller ones out just around about my birthday that I like, so I'm going to have it three years running, Jules, like, you know, next year, next June, you're going to have another one come out on my birthday that just I've got to buy and have. Right, Stitchy Kindness. One of my subscribers, a lady named Jane, reached out to me last week and said, can I send you a project back? And I was like, well, you don't have to, you're generous, thank you so much. A wee bit backwards and forwards, she finally managed to get in touch with me because YouTube was eating her comments. And I said, look, you know who I am on Facebook, message me. So she messaged me and I sent her my address and she sent me a parcel and it came on Wednesday. And she's a naughty girl because she said, I thought it was one project book. So, one project bag. So she sent me, not just one. Not just 2, but 3 project bags. And you know what's good about these? Jane, you're a genius. Look, I can get my head sail in it. So it's not going to be like to get lay on by Oscar or stomped on by Charlie. I could put it in the bag. Anyway, let's have a wee closer look at these bags because they're lovely, beautiful. Yellow and blue flowers on this one. Who told you that blue was my favourite colour? Or one of them, and I liked yellow and blue together. It's got a beautiful iridescent sort of pale teal, pale blue lining. Listen to that. Lovely. Thank you, Jen. That's one. Second one is a brown plaid. And it's got blue patchwork on the inside. Jane, you'll be getting orders. You'll be getting orders. And the third one is this beautiful sort of blue marley. Reminds me of one of the fabrics that Laura on Stitching by the Shore's using. It's kind of that same sort of blue. And butterflies, little golden butterflies. Those are so cute. Thank you. It's so appreciated. But you are naughty because you said you made it. You know, you said that you had done project bags for your friends, and then you asked me if you could send me one. I was like, oh yeah, and I was expecting one, but you sent me 3, so that's 3 projects. So that'll be my head, so I'll go in one. What I think I might do is the next 2 projects that I start, if they fit in them, I'll go in there. I'm saying if they fit in them because they're going to be big ones. I might put 941 in one of them as well because that's my insomnia piece and that gets kept on the frame for those nights when I just can't sleep and I'm or I'm struggling to sleep. Usually an hour or so stitching is enough just to get me relaxed enough that I can sleep. So that's Stitchy Kindness. I've not purchased it yet, but I will be purchasing some scraps, some offcuts from Aimee on Monday. Depends on what she's got left, if I've got anything that I can work on. I've got a couple of pieces from last time still in the cupboard, so I'm not desperate for fabric, but I'm getting to the stage where I could do some really decent sized bits of 25 count. I've been getting 18 count, but I think I might get some 25 count this time round, and I might get plain non-ungridded to see how I cope with that. I can do 18 count ungridded. That's what I'm using for a cottage garden. And I'm using it. I use that for my long docks. So, and I'm also using 18 count white for glorious sunflowers as well. And as long as I stick to my 10 by 10 blocks, I'm usually okay. And don't go mad with the parking. So that's what I've got planned to buy. Also, no, not that one. Give me a second while I get into Heaven and Earth Designs website. Give me a second, because there was a beautiful chart that was released, and as I say, I'm sorely tempted to buy it, but I'm not. I'm on a no buy. Sorry, Michelle. You nearly had me. Where are we? Home. I'm usually on my phone, so this is a wee bit different. No, I don't want to join the newsletter. I've already got. I'm not doing it. Alright. Oh, and there's new ones as well. Oh my goodness. So it's big enough that you can see it. There we go. Look, I was so tempted. Isn't that beautiful? It's Nadia Strelkina, and it is beautiful. As you know, I've got a Nadia Strelkina piece already from Pain Free Crafts, which is 2 wolves. And do you not think that would go so beautifully with it, with the blues? And for all the whites in there, it's not actually got white in it. It is all winter white, off-white, pale greys, pale blues. I looked at the floss usage chart, and there's no white or blanc in it at all. Or I don't even think there's B500 in there. It's beautiful. So that is a very much up on that is very definitely on the wish list, and it will be one that I'm looking at sometime in January probably. Watch this, she'll bring out lots of beautiful charts between now and then, and I will be breaking the bank in January. At least I'm saving the money that I would be spending on charts and putting to the side, so that, you know, to buy my project, but you know, to put to the side. I'm going to allow myself to maybe buy 2 or 3 in January. I'll see if she's got a sale on. She normally does sort of beginning of January, so we'll see. The only thing I'm allowing myself to buy is my fabric and floss. The next big purchase is going to be fabric and floss for St Andrew's Day New Start, which is by Malcolm Watson. It's called Celtic Thistle. Let me just get into... Come on, open. Cross stitch patterns, thank you. There's designs, where are you hiding? Yeah, how do you guys catalogue your project, your patterns? Because I got, all in a cross stitch folder, I have got the different designers, and then within each designer I have got the artist. But I feel like I'm missing something out. I don't know whether I should putting them on a spreadsheet and listing like subject, so that if I'm looking for a particular type of project, I've got them all there. But that is Celtic Thistle. No, it's not Celtic Thistle I'm going to do. It's Celtic Unicorn. It's that one. That's the one I'm going to do, not Celtic Thistle. I was going to do Celtic Thistle, but then I spotted quite a few people were doing it, so I knew I would get bored of it. I don't do things that a lot of other people are doing, because if I see it all the time, someone else stitching on it, I get bored of it, and I'm not inclined to bring it out. But anyway, that's my November New Start, so that's the next purchase is going to be for the fabric and the floss for that. I've also I've actually pushed it back to July now. I'm going to be starting in July the Teddy Bear Tree, Dona Gelsinger. My next New Start after that, after the November one, is the max colour version of Monarch of the Glen. This is artwork by Sir Edwin Landseer, and it's a classic. I mean, I've seen the original of this in the gallery, in an art gallery, and when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I like that. Unfortunately, I can't afford the original, so I'm going to do a cross-stitch version of it instead, and I'm doing the max colours version to get the depth of colour for that stag, make that stag really stand out. All those blues and browns. So I'm going from having a project that is all greens to having one that's all browns, and I'm going to be starting that on Hogmanay, which is 31st of December. So it's going to be my next project, next two big purchases, and that will take me to 25 listed projects, although I've UFO'd 2 of them. Here's Charlie. You're going to turn around and say hello. Oh, you've got your cloak up. There we go. There we go. Look, see. Who's that? Who's that on there? Is that you? See, there's you. See. Do you see you? No? We had a little adventure last night. I was outside talking to my neighbour, and it was dark, and him and Oscar came outside. They only get outside when I'm outside, and I had forgotten to shut the door between the porch and the in the hall, the inside door. I hadn't shut it properly, and they managed to get out. And Oscar straight away started eating grass, so he's got an upset stomach. So he's been sick twice during the night, and I've cleared it up now, but he does it every time he goes outside. He eats grass. And this one was annoying my neighbour because he was coming over to the fence and meowing to get petted, weren't you? Eh? And then you went on a little wander around the garden to have a look around the garden, didn't you? I would say they only get outside when I'm outside. They don't get outside on their own. But I think if they did get outside, well, Oscar got out. Oscar got out during the storm that we had in January. Managed to get himself shut outside in it, didn't he? At the height of the storm, and Oscar's managed to get himself shut outside because I went out to the bin, and I didn't realise he'd followed me. And I shut the door. I came in and shut the front door, and I was like, "Where's Oscar?" And I was hunting the house for looking for him, And Charlie kept going to the window. My living room window is here, and my front door is like here. My hall comes up, and so it's like living room, front door, bedroom window, right? And it kept going to the bedroom window and then to the living room window, and so peeking and looking at where the front door step is. And I went, I wonder. So I opened the door and there's Oscar cowering, poor little thing, soaking wet. He was sopping wet and he was scared. But he never went outside for a while, did he? No. Not even when he was allowed to. But he started getting a wee bit more adventurous again. So the pair of them come out last night to see my friend and see my neighbour. And her cat walked across my garden. Normally, when they've got the window between them, they fight with each other, if you know what I mean. So hissing and growling. But Charlie and Oscar just sat there and went, right, whatever. Just walk through the garden. Where are you off to? Where do you think you're going? I think if we'd went in the house, you'd have chased after him now, eh? Yeah. But anyway, that's been what's happening with me. Anything else that I need to tell you? Oh, shout outs. I had a shout out from Tammy at Tammy Stitches. I've not actually watched the video at the moment, Tammy. I think I watched about 2 minutes of it. I'll go back and watch it sometime this week, hopefully. A wee bit behind. Rule of thumb is I'm 2 weeks behind, unless there's specific videos that I want to watch, or specific, like if I know there's something coming up like giveaways or something, then I will sort of watch out of sequence. I just like to see what the giveaways are, and if it's something that I'm interested in, I join in. If it's not, then it's like, yeah, well, okay, it's not my taste, but you know, I'm quite eclectic that way. Have I got anything else that I've got to show you? Don't think so. I'm leaning. You wonder what I'm leaning on? I'm leaning on this. My threads are in thread organisers. That's what I'm leaning on. So that is me. I'm going to go. As always, doesn't matter how many stitches you get completed in a session, even if you only manage one stitch, it's one less stitch you still have to do. And be kind, treat others as you wish to be treated. If you're out and about, give some, pass someone by, give them a smile, not a frown. Give them kind gestures, say hello. You never know, it could be the difference for that person. They could be having a day from hell, and your smile, kind gesture, hello, even if you're holding the door open for them, it can make all the difference to that person. Good manners cost nothing, and they mean the earth. So thank you for your time today, guys. I hope that you managed to get plenty of stitches in this week, and I shall see you in the next one. Happy stitching, guys. Bye.